So, every now and then I'll mention something about a senator or congressman or woman or whatever, and I'll make it a point to just go beyond saying a congressman or congresswoman. I'll actually tell you the race for the specific reason that it doesn't matter what race they are. I remember this lady, I don't know if she was a senator or a congresswoman, black lady. She was like the head of a committee, these little committees in Congress. And her peers, lower Congress, she's the head of the chair of the committee, the other people, received campaign contributions from a certain company. She did not. She physically called the company and left a pretty upset message with them. I'm the head of the committee, and I understand my colleagues received some campaign contributions, and I did not. She was actually calling them to scold them for not giving her campaign contribution money and giving her peers some. And she's the head of this committee. And I thought to myself, of all people, man, it wasn't all that long ago that the black people had to deal with slavery, and then after that, oh, you're free, you're free. Oh, but you can't ride the same bus as white people. Okay, maybe you can, but you got to sit in the back. This diner over here, you want to go sit there and eat? Nope, they don't allow black folks in there. But you're free, right? And then now we're finally where we are today, where they can sit anywhere they want, right? We're all appear to be equal, at least in that respect, right? So I'm not going back hundreds of years. This was not all that long ago. So again, my point here is a black woman or man, Congress, senator, whatever, you would think, having known about those issues back in the day, would want to make things right and keep them right, rather than to join the fat white rich man in fraud and corruption. But that's exactly what has happened. And I mentioned that. That's why I mention it sometimes. Now, speaking of which, I've got an Asian man. I believe he's Chinese. Last name is Yi, Y-E-E. Leland Yi, senator, California. I believe he's a state senator. California. Get this. This is beautiful. And this should really piss a lot of people off at the same time. When you have a senator or congressperson, whatever, anti-gun, always any chance they get, they're going to try to push legislation or get that anti-gun legislation going to get those guns out of the people's hands. This is almost on par with Fast and Furious. California anti-gun senator charged with corruption and trafficking firearms. He's Asian. Not black, not white, not Spanish. Asian. When you hear senator this, congressperson that, federal judge, no. Think one word. Politician. And don't look up what the dictionary calls a politician. Matter of fact, just out of curiosity. Urban Dictionary. It's right there. And then we're going to go to dictionary.com. This is for fun, okay? Politician. A person who is active in party politics. A seeker or holder of public office who is more concerned about winning favor or retaining power than about maintaining principles. This is from dictionary.com. A person who holds a political office. A person skilled in political government or administration, statesman or stateswoman. An expert in politics or political government. A person who seeks to gain power or advancement within an organization in ways that are generally disapproved. So we have 2 out of 6 definitions. I didn't do this before, by the way. This is news to me. 2 out of 6 of the dictionary.com, which actually takes you to reference.com. This is a pretty high has high notoriety, I would say, online as far as a dictionary site goes, has two of the definitions telling you a fraudster in it for the money. I was expecting whatever came up to be politically correct, like an expert in politics, a person skilled in political government, and that was it. Oh my God. So let's type the same thing in an urban dictionary. Let's just see what it says. A person who practices politics. Politics is derived from the word poly, meaning many, and ticks, meaning blood-sucking parasites. One who has perfected the art of lying. And finally, a highly paid yes man. And here, what was that, 3? We have 3. 908 thumbs up, 121 thumbs down. Urban Dictionary. So, again, the point that I was making here was to show you a real dictionary site versus the Urban Dictionary site. To show you, I knew what the Urban Dictionary was going to show, which is what I just read you. I was not expecting the other one to even have anything. A seeker or holder of public office who is more concerned about winning favor or retaining power than about maintaining principles. Who snuck that one in there? Wow. So back to this story. A California state senator known for his outspoken views in support of gun control was arrested on Wednesday and charged with illegally trafficking in firearms alongside multiple counts of public corruption. In a federal corruption investigation that nabbed 26 people on charges ranging from drug smuggling to murder for hire, Democratic State Senator Leland Yee was indicted on conspiracy to traffic in firearms without a license and to illegally import firearms and 6 counts of corruption, which included handing out favors in exchange for substantial campaign contributions. Did any of those definitions I just read hit home at all by chance? If convicted, he could face 20 years in prison, up to 20 years in prison, and a $250,000 fine for each corruption charge, while the gun trafficking count could result in 5 years in prison and a similar fine. According to the San Jose Mercury News, the FBI affidavit claims Yee offered to negotiate illegal firearm sales on multiple occasions in exchange for financial donations towards his campaign. He was allegedly told by undercover FBI agents of his connections to firearm dealers in Asia and Russia, with CBS San Francisco reporting he knew an arms dealer who'd been shipping cargo containers of weapons to Muslim rebels in the Philippines. The meeting between Yee and the undercover agent was brokered by Keith Jackson, a political consultant with ties to Raymond Chow, whom the FBI identified as the ringleader of a Chinatown gang. Chow introduced an FBI agent who'd made his way into the group to Jackson, who was the first to tell of Yee's connections to arms dealers. So, the odd thing is he's still a senator. Senator Yee should leave the Senate and leave it now. Senate President Pro Tem Daryl Steinberg told the Mercury News. He was released on $500,000 bond on Wednesday after giving up his passport. He is currently running to be the next Secretary of State, but news of his arrest has triggered calls for his resignation from the Senate by his colleagues. So, when I read this, there's 2 things that do come to mind. A, another politician, what I just read you is 100% true. And while I'm reading it and thinking about it, I think to myself, is it possible that he was set up? Senator Lee, let's see. Set up by FBI. Let's search that for Google. Just Leland Yee's defense team accuses FBI of entrapment. Not really seeing. Let's read that first one. The FBI used millions of dollars, liquor, and cigarettes seized in other cases, and more than a dozen undercover operatives in an elaborate 7-year sting operation targeting San Francisco Chinatown Association, thought to be front for a notorious organized crime syndicate. The agent's behavior has already become a central issue in the month-old case, with defense lawyers arguing that the FBI entrapped otherwise honest people by luring them into criminal schemes hatched by the government. It's an argument numerous suspected terrorists, politicians, and others have made when caught in a government sting. But legal experts say the entrapment defense rarely works. Sting targets have to prove much more than simply the government made them do it. They have to show they weren't predisposed to committing the crime acts proposed by undercover agents. Several high-profile terrorism suspects in recent months have argued they were set up by undercover agents who played central roles in helping them plan U.S. attacks that they otherwise would never have intended to carry out. Which is true, but I'm not seeing anything anywhere else that is saying that, he was set up or so. It reeks of another dirty, rotten, stinking carcass of a politician. This one's Asian. So you see the white people, black people, Spanish people, Asian people. It doesn't matter. When you put on that suit and tie, and I'm a big shot. Remember the lady talking to the guy from the military, giving her some kind of little briefing live, and I'm gonna have to ask, would you please mind addressing me as Senator? Because he kept saying yes ma'am, no ma'am. I worked really hard to achieve this title, so I would appreciate if you addressed me by Senator. You stupid bitch. Who in the hell do you think you are, and the rest of you filthy, rotten scoundrels? Every one of you should be shipped off to another country, to a third world country, for all the corruption, campaign contributions, passing bills that you didn't even write were given to you by Citigroup, JP Morgan, the banks, the oil companies, you name it. Pharmaceutical lobby, all of them. So, another day, another crooked politician. I mean, pretty cut and dry, I guess, on this one. Take care.